Hi, I'm Dr. Angela McBurdy of DoctorFlute.com. Today's flute tip is on don't let your throat interfere with your tone. Many times when I'm working on embouchure with my students, we work on here and we work opening it up in your teeth and how you breathe and support. And sometimes I forget, you know what, let's talk about the throat. Because the throat can interfere with your tone in a big way. You can be doing everything here right, but if your throat is tight or it fluctuates between tight and loose, what that can do is just wobble your airstream so that you don't get the kind of tone that you want. So I've talked about embouchure and that you need spacing between your teeth and the different octaves and how best. I don't want to talk about. All I want to do is talk about that when you take your breath, open up your throat and then leave it open. Take a breath, and I use the term a yawning breath, so that it opens up, that it's completely round. I've heard someone say you can stick an orange back there. You feel like it's so big that an orange could go in there. If you feel that it's that nice and wide, then play and determine whether or not you keep it that wide while you're playing. Now, I've heard students do this kind of thing. Let's see. Now, I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but you can hear how the tone just fluctuates. It fluctuates. Now, this is mostly a throat issue and a little bit of an embouchure issue. And what is happening there, and this is very, very common, you can get a great sound. So this starts on a low D flat, all right? Get a beautiful tone on that. And maybe you can sound really good, but once you start going and you go up high and down low, you allow the embouchure to close up and the throat to tighten up. Once the throat tightens, then the embouchure starts fluctuating at the same time, and that interferes with that nice open throat. If you concentrate on opening the throat, the embouchure is going to stabilize, right? So I'm going to take my breath, and then I'm just going to leave it exactly like that. I want the airstream to be completely straight. It comes right up, it echoes into my sinus cavities and comes out on the embouchure hole. So here's my yawning breath. Now, I'm playing it really slow, so I'm going to take a breath in there. I wouldn't take a breath normally right there at the tempo that I want to go at eventually. But I'm taking a breath because I know I have to get up, starting on a low D flat, but I'm going to have to get up into my third octave G. Now, my embouchure does have to change to get that third octave G. I'm not going to keep my embouchure at the D flat, but what I am going to do is keep my throat the same. So if I'm going from that low D flat to a high G, let me play it. It's kind of hard to slur from there to the third octave. And when you play this little passage, this is Machinsky, 3 preludes, it's the second movement. I'm starting with a low D flat, and I'm traveling. You don't have to skip right from that low D flat to your third octave G. But the key is, if I can do that slurring from my low D flat to my high G and keep my throat open, then I know that I can keep it open all the way through that passage. One way to practice so that you can really hear is to take off your vibrato and listen and just play it straight without really a rhythmic center. I can hear what's happening when I take off the vibrato. When I like what I hear, then I might put the vibrato back on and then add the rhythm and then add the nuance. But that's how you want to work it, keeping that throat open. It is more common than to have your throat be the actual culprit of you not getting the tone that you want to get. And you've done everything right. Your breathing and your support and your embouchure, you think everything should be right. But then something isn't exactly right, and it has to do with that throat. Flute playing should feel easy to you. And I know with a tight throat, there is something that feels cumbersome, and it's not quite as easy as it can be. So practice in thinking about your throat, keeping it open the whole time while you play. Don't let it close up, and you'll be happy for the sound that you are producing. That's today's flute tip.